Sometimes I ask myself, if I had known this film would take 7 years to finish, would I still have done it? Here's the good, the bad, and the ugly of the entire 7-year process making Unsound. I was born in Jacksonville, North Carolina. Ever since I was a kid, I wanted to tell stories. I don't want to go back this far. Spring of 2009, I started film school at the University of Arizona. When Damon Mosier and I first met, we hit it off immediately. I'm talking the first day we met, I remember telling him, bro, I want to shoot a 90-minute feature while we're still in school. I know, crazy, right? To which he replied, if you do it, I'll be your DP. We collaborated on 80% of our projects. We even had a nickname. If Damon and I shot a film, it was a D-squared film. I worked on over 40 short films and 2 features while I was in film school. I made a few shorts, some were okay, others, not so much. The biggest thing I learned though, filmmaking is expensive, and if you want to do it without going broke, you can't solve all your problems with money. Meanwhile, I was dealing with problems at home. My mother's 18-year battle with schizophrenia was getting worse. She had a bad episode, lasted months. She completely destroyed her house. $60,000 worth of damage. I've been taking care of her ever since. I worked on film projects by day and grappled with my mother's schizophrenic episodes by night.
On our way to Keno, I've been having thoughts of committing suicide. See what they can do. They'll probably have me on watch for a few days and then keep me there a few days.
You've never tried to hurt yourself before, have you?
I tried before, a pretty long time ago.
You gotta try licking it.
There you go.
There it is.
The big one should come off easier.
All right. You gotta take the watch off too. Sweet.
Okay, let's go figure this out. We'll get you back in time.
I never saw a film that accurately depicted what it's like to take care of somebody with schizophrenia. The details, the legal issues, the systemic problems, the sleepless nights. And then I thought, why don't I make that film? Why don't I make a film about us? The biggest hurdle writing the script would be my limited experience. I had only read a couple of books, taken a class, and a couple of workshops, but I had never actually written a 90-page script before. I tried twice with 2 other ideas, never finished them. This time I'm writing what I know. In November 2010, I started writing Unsound. At the time, it was titled Seafood Tester. Eventually, I'd have to break the news to my mother. I know she won't like it, but she's going to find out sooner or later, so I sat her down and told her. She wasn't happy with me, and we went back and forth about it. Hopefully she'll come around. I finished the first draft in 2 weeks. I gave it to 9 of my friends for feedback. I only heard back from 4 of them. The other 5 either didn't read it or didn't finish it. No hard feelings. I remember thinking, why should anybody care about this story? Am I wasting my time? I was surprised to find that most people could relate to the story in their own way. Maybe I'm onto something. This was the plan. I'd write a couple more drafts of the script, make a few tweaks, and then we'd start shooting in September. We'd shoot every weekend and hopefully finish the movie by the time we graduate. This plan was completely idiotic. Here's why. August 2011. I had a script feedback session with 9 reputable screenwriters. I gave them my 3rd draft. The good news, they were very excited about the story and the potential, especially since they knew I was actually going to shoot it. So they tore into it for 4.5 hours. They completely destroyed my script. There's no way we're shooting this in a month. I'd have to rewrite the whole thing from page 1. I worked on the script every day for the next 10 months. Some days I'd write 3 pages, some days just a sentence. I ended up writing 6 more drafts before the script was ready to shoot. If you want to shoot a full-length 90-minute feature film on your own, you've got to do everything within your power to keep it cheap. This way you mitigate your risk. I started by asking everyone I knew, hey, I'm about to make this film. What do you have that I could use to make it? I got a few things, but mostly I got a number of locations. And then I reverse engineered the script based on what I had available to me. I literally wrote every room in my apartment into the script. I had a 73 Volkswagen Beetle that breaks down every couple weeks. Great, I wrote it in. I wrote in Damon's apartment. I wrote in Damon's dad's house. I did a summer internship at a local public access station. I knew they let me get access to the control room in the studios. Dope, I wrote it in. I remember this wash from one of the short films my buddy shot. I went back there, scouted out the location, wrote it in. I wrote in several locations at my film school. Damon and I scouted out each spot and planned out shots months in advance. I did storyboards. Yes, my drawings are ridiculous. Moving on. The only place I didn't have access to was a clinic. I'd have to actually find one. There was no way of writing around it. I started asking around town and everybody said no. More on that later. Finding crew is always a challenge, but the great thing about film school is I could just turn to all my classmates. Damon would be DP, Christina would be our AD, and AD is an assistant director. Travis would be our grip and sound guy. Jack would be our assistant cameraman and second grip. And Gary Mosier, Damon's dad, would be our makeup guy. That was our core crew, Lean and me. Of course, I had other people who could help when they could. The summer of 2011, I started casting. 2 things you have to know about Tucson, Arizona. It's crazy affordable to shoot, which is amazing, but the acting pool is tiny. And by tiny, I mean abysmal. Casting Daryl Lynn took the longest. After 3 months of searching, I found 2 African-American women who fit the demographic. That's right, just 2. I auditioned them both, and they weren't good fits. If I don't find someone who can play Daryl Lynn, I can't shoot this movie. And flying somebody in from out of state, I don't have that kind of money. So it looks like I'm at a standstill. Meanwhile, my relationship with my mother has gone chilly at this point. She's convinced that I would villainize her with this movie and everyone would judge her. We weren't talking much. Hopefully she comes around. Just when I thought I was completely out of options, someone told me about Tournay. Now, she isn't a classically trained actor, but she's done a number of one-woman shows around town and she's got a lot of performance experience. Great, okay, I'm interested. I reached out to her and set up an audition. She didn't meet the physical description of what I was looking for, and I had my reservations about the whole no training thing. I mean, this role would be tough for someone who even has training, but then I met her. The moment I shook her hand, I had this feeling that this was it. Just the way she carried herself, her personality. She's also dealt with mental illness in her family, and oh, just so you know, she just destroyed the audition. I couldn't believe it. I actually found Darylyn. I worked with RD in several student productions. I wrote the role of Chad specifically for him. Damon and I collaborated on our junior thesis film called Checking Out. You can find it on Vimeo. I wrote parts for every actor in that film, even Travis. And I wrote small parts for all my crew members. If you look real close, they're all in there. Now, I did not want to act in this film, but when I searched for African-American male actors in Tucson, I found 2. You noticing a pattern yet? I auditioned both of them, neither worked. So after thinking about it for a month, I decided to do it myself. Over the next year, I took acting classes and acted in everything I could get into. Student productions, skits, it didn't matter. I needed the experience. Oh yeah, and I watched a ton of Inside the Actor Studio. The more I learned about acting, the more I realized just how difficult it is. I was not a natural, and I really had to work at it. So what had happened was I had to make a thesis film to graduate, right? So I decided to shoot the last 10 pages of Unsound for my thesis film. This film would be Seafood Tester. Damon and I started planning. We had one huge problem. 80% of it takes place in my apartment, and my apartment is ugly and it's tiny, hard to light, hard to shoot. We spent a lot of time figuring out how to film it in a way that looked interesting. I repainted the walls. This helped. My mother still wasn't on board. We haven't talked about it since I broke the news to her, but when my mom finally met Tournay, they hit it off right away. Now she's kind of warming up to the idea. October 2011 rolls around. We shoot Seafood Tester. Can I just say, acting in your own film is terrifying. Am I really ready for this? You see, your job as a director is to look out for your actors, but when you're acting and directing, who's looking out for you? I pulled Damon aside and told him, hey bro, I know we got a lot on our plate, but I'm really gonna need you to be my second set of eyes. He knew exactly what I was talking about, and he did just that. We shot the short film in 4 days with a budget of $1,500. The most expensive shot was this one. I had to rent a retractable needle from a prop house in LA, and it cost $120 for that needle. $120. I cut the short film together in December, did final color and sound work the following spring. Seafood Tester was one of the smoothest productions I've ever done. We kept it simple, just focused on story. It did well in all of our feedback screenings. About this time, I'm feeling better about the whole acting in your own film thing, but how would an audience respond to it? May 12th, 2012. At our graduation screening, we screened Seafood Tester. The only thing I can remember was the silence. I literally couldn't read the audience. But when the first credits started rolling, the applause was insane. My mother did not attend the screening. She still felt torn about the project, so I showed her the finished film on my laptop a few days later. After it ended, she turned to me and had this unforgettable look on her face, and then smiled. She finally got it. The plan: get Seafood Tester into film festivals and meet producers. The short film would have the same look and feel as the feature film, so we'll use the short film to pitch the feature film project to these producers. If we find a producer that likes the idea, they join the team, raise the money, we make Unsound. After film school, we hit the film festivals. The biggest highlight, we got into the Oscar qualifying Aspen Shorts Fest. Now, Aspen was one of the top 5 film festivals in North America at the time. Our film was competing against other films with $30,000 and $300,000 budgets. And word on the street, we were really close to walking away with an award, but we didn't care. We were so honored to be there. I submitted Seafood Tester to 29 more film festivals after that. And we only got into 3. I did not see this coming. Why so many rejections? Should I be concerned at this point? I mean, if the short film isn't taken off at the festivals, What's gonna happen when we shoot this feature? So we did the film fest thing with Seafood Tester. Great, we haven't found a producer yet. Now what? Well, there are these film lab things, right? I can apply to those. They're really hard to get into, but if they take your project, then raising the money for production wouldn't be a problem. I paid $300, submitted to a few labs, and they all passed. This wasn't the project they were looking for. No hard feelings. Moving on. I had two choices. I could wait and keep looking for a producer, or I could find the money myself and start shooting. And given my track record so far, I don't think I'm gonna find a producer. Now is the perfect time. Everyone is fresh out of film school. They won't have jobs yet. If I'm gonna shoot this movie, we gotta do it now. Screw it. I'll get the money myself. Right before I graduated, I pulled out 2 student loans and applied for 4 credit cards. Well, now I got the money. Moving on. I graduated in May of 2012, and in June, less than a month later, we started shooting. I'm not gonna lie, I had to pinch myself several times. It was hard to believe that after over a year and a half of planning, we were finally doing it. And then I thought, I've never directed a feature film before. What if I royally screw this up? We shot on 2 Canon 60Ds, a GoPro Hero 2, and a Canon PowerShot Digital ELPH.
Clutch. Oh, who's that? You got that camera over there. What you got going on over there? Look at this. Yeah.
I wish I could give you guys the play-by-play on how we did everything, but then this video would be like 47 bajillion hours long, so I will probably do that in other videos, but for now I'll give you guys some highlights. Principal photography lasted 21 days. Most of our cast and crew worked under deferment, meaning they wouldn't get paid anything now, but if we ever sold the film and made any money, they would get paid. Our biggest expenses. Starting the LLC took about $2,000. Feeding cast and crew took a huge chunk of money. Production insurance took another chunk. I bought a monster of a laptop so that I could edit at home. That was another $4,000. It's amazing how fast you can burn through money when you're shooting a film. Like, I personally went into about $30,000 worth of debt in 6 months. Some days we'd have a crew of 12, some days we'd have just a crew of 5, other days it was just Damon, Christina, and myself, and then some days it was just me. H1 take 5. In preparation for the role, I played the original video I took of my mother in a full schizophrenic episode for Tournay. The handycam scenes were just Tournay and I. No lights, no crew, just hours of improvisation, one-on-one. We actually harassed neighbors. We went into stores. All the reactions you see are real.
Trying to shoot out the door?
Yeah, just walk like you're on a mission as if there was nobody there. And if she stops and flags you, excuse me, ma'am, excuse me. Keep walking. Keep walking. Go ahead.
Tournay got so close to the real thing that it gave me chills. We shot several locations at our old film school. Remember these scenes? We shot it at the place where you get your gear at U of A. Remember this scene? Just careful framing next to a window. The fight in the editing room? That's literally right around the corner. Remember this scene? It's just a conference room. The lobby scene is literally the front lobby at our film school. The initial SUMA meeting. It's just another conference room. 6 of my locations are all on the same floor within 30 feet of each other. This is what I mean by resource filmmaking. The toughest location by far was the hospital lobby. We couldn't fake this one. I had to find a real location. I asked every hospital and clinic in town, and they all said no. Hollywood productions usually build a set for this exact reason. It's nearly impossible to get access to a real working hospital or clinic, and we were running out of time. 2 weeks into principal photography, the impossible happened. One morning, I got an email, and one of the clinics changed their mind. Long story short, after getting turned down at this clinic, I left someone a link to Seafood Tester. That guy saw it, loved it, showed his boss liked it, shared it with his boss. 2 months later, we had a yes. Wow. We had a clinic.
Fun facts.
I gave my mom a cameo in the film. The Volkswagen cruise footage is actually from a real Volkswagen documentary I shot in film school years ago.
Seafood Tester, the short film, is the last 10 minutes of the movie, so the ending is already covered. We just had to shoot the rest of the movie, which was about 80 pages. When we finished shooting everything, the short film fit right in seamlessly.
The apartment manager who evicts us, that was one of my old film school teachers.
Kevin Black plays Vic, the caseworker. Kevin was one of my first acting teachers, and he can tell you just how awful I was when I started acting. I cast other actors I met in acting classes. I was a jet mechanic in the Air Force 10 years ago. And yes, that is my name on the side of an A-10. Wow, feels like a lifetime ago. I used my old military pictures in the film.
Another tough location, Darylyn's hospital room. Travis's dad worked at a rehabilitation clinic, so we had a window of about a week to slip in and shoot something. Got lucky twice. We needed a ton of Volkswagen footage. I knew we could get into these shows and events around town and shoot because I had done it before when I shot that documentary. Plus, I was a part of a car club. We waited 3 months to shoot Bugtoberfest in October. We shot real interviews. And then in November, we went to Phoenix, Arizona to shoot Bugorama. And then we caught another local Tucson Volkswagen cruise 2 weeks later.
Get as low as you can. Sometimes like just really low to the street, and then use some of the regular camera too.
These things take lots of patience and planning. I think you guys get the idea. So I learned how to edit in Final Cut 7. This software was now obsolete, so I had to learn how to edit in a new application, Adobe Premiere Pro. One huge problem, I got a lot of sound issues to fix. Most micro-budget films do, but I don't have access to a sound booth. My old film school had one, but given the amount of time I need to use it, theirs was out of the question. So I'm gonna have to build my own. I did some research, bought an audio interface, tons of cables, supplies, and blankets. 2 weeks later, I had a sound studio with 24-hour access in my living room. It took me 2 months to collect all of the sounds I needed to complete the sound design. I brought the actors in one by one for the ADR. This took a couple of months. 40% of the dialogue you hear in the film has actually been re-recorded and replaced. Another problem, I needed a composer for the score. I knew 2 people who could do this. One was unavailable and the other was unreliable. Well, I've done everything else myself at this point, so it looks like I'll have to do this too. Only I don't know anything about composing music. I bought Mixcraft, learned how to use it, looked up videos on music theory, made a few bad songs, and then got the hang of it. A month later, I had a score. The sound design for a film is one of those little things that makes a huge difference, so I took some extra time to really experiment and flesh this out. For example, this percussive sound that I use in key scenes with Darylyn.
This is just a pool generator I recorded in my apartment complex. I slowed the sound down by 75% in post.
I also borrowed music. I got a couple of songs from an old friend I knew from my Air Force days. He's a rapper now. .dlh handed me a free demo with like 20-something songs on it years ago, and I liked the music. I got in contact with him, and boom, Used 3 or 4 of his songs.
DLH goes by the name Damian Lamar Hudson now. Check him out.
Up to this point, the working title has been Seafood Tester, just like the short. It's something my mom called herself in her delusions, but the title makes people think that it's a documentary about somebody testing seafood for a living.
Be firm, and in this case, this is a little bit loose, but
This type of confusion is not good for marketing. I changed the name to Unsound. Moving on. November 5th, I finished the first cut of the film. I screened it with Damon and Christina for feedback, and something didn't feel right. We didn't quite catch the spark we did before with the short film. Damon and I stayed up until 2 a.m. speculating what it could be and came up with a few ideas. But I didn't sleep that night. My brain was going a million miles a minute. I'm thinking, what if the film doesn't work? What if I just blew $30,000? The script was solid. Where did I go wrong? I kept editing. Going into cut 5, I ran into another big problem. I was too close to the material. Between writing it and directing it and acting in it and now editing it, I was losing perspective on what was actually working and what wasn't. I needed a fresh set of eyes on the film, preferably from other filmmakers. So I screened the film for 6 of my old film school professors, and they gave me some feedback, just what I needed. More ideas going into cut 6. In March, I reached another plateau. Up to this point, I'd only gotten feedback from crew members and other filmmakers, but I didn't make this for other filmmakers. I made it for a general audience. We didn't have a clue how an audience would respond to it. I think it's time for a test screening. April 30th, 2013.
2 weeks before the date of our test screening, we started advertising. We posted on Facebook and all of our social media outlets. We invited friends, we invited family. We posted flyers in the film department of U of A and all over the U of A campus. Since our film also deals with classic Volkswagens, I went to a classic VW shop and advertised. We were able to get a lecture hall at the university to test screen our film in, which is a pretty good venue. We drafted up and printed off about 150 questionnaires. The test screening was very successful, minus a few technical issues. We had about 100 people show up, and afterwards we had a Q&A session with cast and crew. We answered a lot of questions, got a lot of comments and great responses. These are all the questionnaires we got. That's like an inch of paper.
The reception was lukewarm. People didn't hate it, but they didn't love it either. It just kind of fell somewhere in the middle. The feedback revealed a few problems. Overall, we still had pacing issues in a couple of areas, needed more clarity. Some issues I can fix with ADR, but others would definitely require reshoots. We also learned that our original marketing materials sucked. Based on the flyers, people thought this film would be some sort of sci-fi movie. I took a couple of weeks off from working on the film to really digest all the feedback.
That it has its own beat. And today,
What you say?
Happy birthday.
You're a cutie.
Big one too. Look at my shoe. Look what they did to my shoe. And that little thing right there was having herself a ball, and then he started joining her. Look at my shoe.
That's funny. That's just their way of saying I love you. That's all that is. We make really, really healthy organic plant food. It's called compost tea. It's essentially like plant super juice. This little thing right here is a root applicator.
I think there's enough, and this right here, we didn't think was an adhesive, but I think it is.
Finding time for reshoots would be a problem with everybody's work schedules and obligations. I had to break it up into pieces. We started reshoots in June and didn't finish until August.
I completely reshot 3 scenes, shot 5 new scenes, fixed a few things in ADR, and tightened the entire film up. By the end of that, the film felt so much better, but we were still missing one pivotal moment for Reggie's character. I had a feeling I knew what it was. Around this time, Tournay had found some old VHS tapes of her performances and asked if I could digitize them. I took one look at the footage, and I couldn't believe it.
Sending paper through the telephone. The first time I saw someone use a fax machine, it made my brain hurt.
There it was. This was exactly what we needed. That night, I wrote a new scene. Damon, Christina, and I shot it the following week. This was our last shoot.
For one take.
Yeah,
We're at the beginning of this out, right?
I couldn't help but notice our last shoot was over a year and 2 months later from the day we first started shooting. And my mother hung in there the entire time. I'm sure the constant filming was an inconvenience for her. And Mom, I know you're watching this. Thank you for being such a trooper. We had one last screening of the film.
If you're asking what's different about this from what you saw at the test screen, literally we reshot 3 scenes. We added probably 4 or 5 scenes, and it's been cut down, trimmed like about 3 minutes. I mean, holistically 3 minutes. Like I went for the last 3 days and I just been cutting.
Because I don't know, because it was a little, like the last cut I saw was, the beginning was, I thought was slow.
Yeah.
Slow.
Well, one of the things you did, we reshot the beginning where they're walking up to the car, because originally that scene was not intended to be the first scene. We had recut the film to make it the first scene.
And finally, after 11 cuts, we were picture locked. In order to get Unsound to a general audience and hopefully make our money back, we would need to sell the film to a distributor. You normally find these distributors at film festivals. When you screen your film at a film festival the first time, this is called a world premiere. The order in which you play at festivals is very important. If you have your world premiere at a top tier festival like Sundance, then you have a better chance of selling your film. However, if you premiere your film at a lower tier film festival, then the top tier film festivals like Sundance likely won't accept your film. And your chances of selling your film drastically decrease. In August, Damon and I met with one of our film school professors to put together a film festival strategy.
What's up, intern Carl?
Hi.
I like your shirt.
Thanks.
Bear down.
Yeah.
Representing. So here's the movie.
Okay, so first tell me how it's changed.
You want something so visually compelling that when they get this blank DVD, they say, wow, that film looks interesting, I'm going to watch this DVD. Or, that looks interesting, I'm going to go to that website address.
Directorial debut website. Synopsis.
Really compelling image. right? You know, but you can put anything back here you wanted. You get this in the mail with this, you're more likely to watch it. And what a lot of festivals do is that they send people out as scouts anyway. There are people now going around looking at films and they're scouts for the larger film festivals. Find out who some of the programmers are. Get it out in advance. There's nothing wrong with doing that. A lot of people do that. It's not breaking the rules or anything. You know, I have an in-now Sundance Film Festival, so I'm happy to send it to them personally. I really like IndieWire as a source. It's like the variety of the independent film world. But they do have a festival directory. This came out actually, it's a little bit old, and so I have some things to say about it on here. Because all these writers, they go to all these film festivals, so they have first-hand knowledge. The obvious big ones are Cannes, Sundance, Toronto, South by Southwest, Venice, Berlin, Rotterdam, New York Film Festival, and Telluride. Those are probably the most respected ones. Adding AFI, which for some reason isn't here. Create a calendar based on this. So a couple of them we still need to kind of do a little bit of research. Once you have that master list, like we can look at it again and say, okay, who do we know here? Who's the head programmer for this?
Co-chairman of the Weinstein Company, co-president of Sony, director of acquisitions for IFC. Viveri is a spa city situated in western Bohemia. Not a pen in the world that he can see without having to smack it.
So we started compiling our comprehensive festival strategy at what, like 8? That's when we started, and we didn't get done till 2017. Damn. This is the plan. Get accepted into one of the top tier film festivals like Sundance, Slamdance, or Tribeca, etc., and then sell the film to a distributor. These fests are extremely hard to get into, but I know we've got a good film, so let's see what happens. I didn't have any headshots or press materials for our press kit, so we had a few photo shoots and I created a website. This is D checking out the website for the first time.
I took that picture.
Yes, you did.
I don't know what. If you notice, most of the time celebrities are always squinting. Got a little bit of squint on. He's squinting. She's squinting. The lips are pursed just a little bit. Just a little bit. Touch of a smile. So that's kind of what I'm looking for.
Try to squint your eyes.
Yeah, just a little
but
bit.
But not too much.
Yeah, you just want, all you want to do is raise that. You want to go from there, like, oh, I'm going to become an idiot, to, like, you know what you're doing. You see that face. Go ahead and take a tiny little step back. The camera, go ahead and point your nose just a little bit this way. I like the arms crossed. Go ahead and be completely 90 degrees from me. And then put your head over your shoulder, and then kind of, it's crazy. Yeah, I really want you to lean into it. Nice.
Hell yeah, let's see what you got. Damn, these look hella good.
Thanks. Most people actually do have a side, and it happens to be the left side. Face them this way, they look way better than if you face them the other way. This might end up being your side. You seem to be a little bit stronger this way as opposed to this way. But see how much more effective the squint is? All right.
So how effective is that squint? You guys tell me.
Well, they're out of focus. I just think that's like a powerful image. Christina, are you cooking something?
Oh, it stinks.
Those onions smell good.
I mean, what else are you fixing? You just like cooking onions?
Yeah, it's those onions she was cooking.
Christina, my eyes are burning.
Are you lying?
No, I can feel my eyes burning a little bit.
How about that? Where it's like all caps.
The minute I sit down, everybody gets up and leaves.
We were there for like a good 10 minutes after you sat down.
We were not there for 10 minutes. I even necrophilia.
Is that so?
No. Sorry, I had that in my mind because of what I was reading yesterday.
You just can't beat her expression though.
I know.
It's so like, I think it's just her eyes, you know. They're here. Here they are.
There it is.
It's like a brick of cocaine.
I know. This totally looks like we're just like doing it.
Here's a couple of kilos of postcards.
Yeah. I'll take 1 key.
Let me get 1 key. Yeah, put stickers on the back of showtimes.
Yep.
Around this time, I also made my first YouTube video.
Well, hello world.
or YouTube, or whoever it is watching. I'm Darious J. Britt. I am a writer, director, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, why are we here? To answer that question, I need a little bit of backstory. We done it. We went out and we made a feature-length movie. Full 90-minute movie. It's not even...
Reason number 2, I think it would be good to share.
Sorry, I can't watch any more of that. Moving on. Later in August, I submitted Unsound to Sundance and Slam Dance, and our festival run has officially begun. Sundance and Slam Dance. It's $160.
All right, here we go. That's it. $160 gone. Just like that. Let's be realistic about our expectations here. Sundance last year got over 12,000 submissions.
12,000 submissions.
But we're only going to talk about the feature-length submissions here. Last year they got over 3,000 features. Say this year they get like 3,100 submissions. There are only like 120 slots for features. So you got 120 features minus 60 for documentaries. So now we've got 60 spots for narrative films that we're competing for. About 30 of those are going to be foreign films. So now you've got 30 spots that you're competing for American, US narrative feature film. Of that 30 slots, 10, maybe 15 of them are going to be celebrity picks. So for people who do not have an actor or do not have a star in there, now you're competing for 20 positions. And of those 20 positions, 5 or 6 of them are going to be taken up by films that have already come out of the Sundance Institute. That's another factor. So that means I am competing with 3,100 other movies out there for 20 spots. What kind of percentage are we looking at? Less than 1%. Play all your DVDs or Blu-rays to make sure them puppies work before you send them off anywhere. I'll tell you that right now. It's good to go. It's tracking number. Post office. Woohoo! Yeah. So our grand total for today so far, we got 2 film festival submissions, which is $160, and then we got the 2-day shipping to Slam Dance for the screener, which is another $17.25, $177.25.
Film festivals are expensive. You've got submission fees, marketing materials, travel expenses, lodging, food. All of these things add up to a lot of money. And Unsound technically isn't finished yet. We still need color grading and a theatrical sound mix. My credit cards are maxed out by this point. Meanwhile,
I was driving to come meet you, and I lost all power to the car. I pulled over, I saw some smoke in the cabin area, got out, turned around, and I saw a fire.
fun fact about Volkswagens, they tend to catch fire. Mine was no different. I spent almost $1,000 getting my car back on the road, and that pretty much wiped me out. So yeah, I think I need some help. So we ran a Kickstarter campaign.
30 days, $15,000. Ends Wednesday, December 18th. It's done. It's launched. The countdown begins.
That campaign failed horribly, but I learned a lot about crowdfunding. Moving on.
So I checked my email this morning and I get a message from Slam Dance. Basically, they couldn't play my DVD in any of their players. What? How is that possible? I checked it on my laptop. I checked it on my TV. I mean, it's a regionless DVD. It should play anywhere. I don't know how else do I check it? What do I need to do? Knock on all my neighbors' doors and play it in their freaking VCR DVD player? Like, what the freaking hell, man? I mean, what do you do? What do you do? When I hear shit like that, I get a little paranoid. Can you blame me? So the good news, I know that they're watching the movies. The bad news, my DVD that I checked didn't play. I emailed them the online screener and the password. Hopefully they get it in time to still screen it. I'm sure they'll get it in time. If you sat back and thought about all the possible ways that shit could go wrong when you're submitting, it'll drive you nuts. Hopefully it was just a freak accident. Hopefully it doesn't happen again. Hopefully the DVDs that I have sent out to other fests don't. We wound up not submitting to Rotterdam because, well, money. You know, finances are a little tight this month. Today on the docket, we'll be submitting to Berlin International Film Festival. Now, Berlin International is a Tier 1 festival in Germany. If you get into Berlin, you're doing pretty good for yourself. You have lots of exposure. You cannot submit to them through Without a Box, so you're gonna have to mail off a DVD or a Blu-ray or whatnot. Submitting a short film through Berlinale is like 60 euros. Submitting a feature film to Berlinale is 150 euros. 150 euros with the US conversion would be $207.49 for one fest submission. Okay, here we go. That freaking hurts. Obviously, you know, they're European fest, so they're gonna want it in formats that we don't regularly export our stuff in. So I'm gonna have to end up sending it out tomorrow, and I'm probably gonna have to express deliver it because their deadline would be 4 days away from tomorrow. So that's gonna be another bullet I swallow. We got our DVD, and it works. We're good. Post office. I'm gonna be so depressed if it's like $1,000.
It won't be 1,000. It might be like 100.
91 bones. Almost $100 to mail a DVD off internationally. I did the 1 to 2 day shipping just to make sure things aren't guaranteed with the mail. Moral of the story, mail your shit off as early as humanly possible. Mailing anything out of country is still gonna be expensive, but you know, try to do it as soon as you can. I have two options: continue working and pay for what I can with what little money I have left at the end of the month, which means I'm probably eating ramen noodles, or find a producer. By this time, Damon introduced me to Troy Holler, a fellow filmmaker. We worked on a few of Troy's projects together, and he'd heard about Unsound and wanted to check it out. I shared a screener, he loved it, and wanted to come on board as a producer. Finally, a little help. Highlight: we got Unsound professionally color graded, and we got it sound mixed at the NBC Universal soundstage.
Bill.
Nice to meet you,
What's
Bill.
going on, dude? Bill, hey.
It's so bad. Concrete floors, and we're going there, and there's like some
We're playing through the first reel in total, and then we're gonna spot it afterwards.
That's the idea. Yeah.
Okay, sweet. We're headed to Universal Soundstage for day number 2 of sound mixing. D-Status and Christina are coming with us today, so this is the last day. We're just gonna crank it all the way out till it's done. Booyah! Looks like they're filming something. Got enough lights to replicate daylight over there, just pretty freaking bright.
What am I saying?
We're going...
Sound mixing?
It's Main Street, you're making a left.
What's up, Bill?
How you doing?
Bill, this is Damon, this is the DP for the movie, and this is Christina, the AD. I told you, man, it's crazy big. Our movie was playing on that, man. You're gonna be like, what? It's like a trip.
Did you have some yesterday?
No, I didn't eat any of this yesterday.
We use this all the time for large theatrical mixes. I mean, we have 2 stages right now. We have this one and across the street. And like I say, we were doing Fast 6 earlier last year. We were using both rooms.
Like, how big is this theater?
This is on the large side for a feature stage in town. The only other stage that I've really seen with any regularity is Warner Brothers, and this room's 15 to 20% larger than their bigger rooms.
I know, but I don't think I could do that. And vice versa.
Yeah, have abrupt on.
It's been like 10 hours in the studio called Dub 6. When she hits that left side, we'll just bring her to the left. I always have trouble when I'm trying to EQ a voice so it sounds like it. Troy had some connections and we were able to get it done for a killer deal. Working in that studio, I had a moment. If we got this far, we must be doing something right. December 4th, we finally heard back from Sundance and Slamdance. What's up, all? We're out in Cali taking care of some business right now. I opened my email and got an email at 12 a.m. from Slamdance. Sorry, we love, unfortunately, we can't accept your film, blah, 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 blah. And then we got an email from Sundance at 3:41 a.m. saying the same thing. We've been waiting to hear back from those guys, so it's like, well, I guess they must have notified everybody if they've already released their lineup. So then we checked their email, and sure enough, they did. Apparently, Slamdance only had 10 slots open for narrative features, or I guess features in general was only like 10 spots?
No, they had...
Okay, so for narrative features, it was like 10 though. So, I mean, it was a stretch. Yeah, that was a pretty big stretch anyway, but still, it would have been nice to get in, obviously.
The same feeling you get when you buy a lottery ticket.
Yeah.
It's like...
Troy, is there any like crazy metaphors you can think of?
Crazy metaphors?
Yeah, about just lottery ticket submitting to festivals with little chance of getting in, but hopefully you do because your film's good. But you know, reality is like you probably have less than a 1% chance. But I think, yeah.
That.
Yeah, that.
Yeah. Yeah, the
about says it. On to the next one.
On to the next ones. Moving on. So we didn't make it into either of those fests, and our chances of selling the film have dropped severely. Now what? Well, I have two options. Wait to hear back from South by Southwest and Tribeca, the next two top tiers, or begin submitting to regional fests. I had a sneaking suspicion we wouldn't get into either of those fests, so I started submitting to regionals.
Nobody? You can't shoot a video on that phone.
Yes, I can.
Why are you shooting video? Why are you shooting video?
Well, I'm here with my son Darius. There's my son Darius.
You don't need to shoot a video. I'm already shooting a video.
And we're here at the Cove. You know, I have affective schizophrenia. And he was getting on me earlier because I remind him a little bit too much of appointments. But sometimes I think it's like I am. You need to be reminded to get on me a little bit.
In January 2014, I've spent over $1,000 in film festival submissions since we started. Man up. 291 bucks. Gone. Just like that. That brings our grand total up to $1,028.80. We just broke the 1,000 mark. Yay! Deebered out. So I heard back from Berlin out today, and this is what they emailed me. Oh, God. So basically, in a nutshell, I got rejected. Total, I spent almost $300 on that fest between the submission cost and shipping it. And I just got a rejection letter, so I just threw $300 into a burning barrel. Unfortunately, rejection's a part of the game. So, you know, moving on. On a lighter note, we got accepted into the New Voices of Black Cinema Film Fest, which takes place in March. Voices is an up-and-coming film fest going on its 4th year now. It mainly serves the African-American audience. That's kind of their niche. We didn't actually submit to this film fest through the original routes. We went straight through the programmer route that I told you guys earlier. If you know a programmer, then, you know, talk to them, email them, submit your film there. The programmers there saw the film, loved it. Basically, it's accepted into New Voices, and we didn't have to pay for that one. So that's good. We've gotten into New Voices, which is a Tier 2 fest, but we really want to nail a Tier 1, so hopefully we get into South by Southwest. South by Southwest being a Tier 1 fest. We may hear back from Tribeca by the time New Voices happens, so this could pose a bit of a conflict down the road as to which fest we actually want to premiere our film at. Shortly after that, I found out that South by Southwest and Tribeca rejected us. So I just checked my email and I got an email from South by Southwest. It looks like we didn't make the cut. Boo! That sucks. It says this year they got 6,500 submissions, 2,200 were features, and 4,300 were shorts. That's a 20% increase from 2013, yada, 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 yada. They have 3 less screens this year than they had last year, so they were not able to program as many films as they had before. So they had to accept fewer films, but they don't really disclose what number of films they actually accepted. But, yep, so we didn't make it. Moving on. Good thing we didn't wait.
Hey, mamas. Hey, say hey. One room is done. The living room is done. We just got my room left. It's getting done too. Looks good, smells good.
So it looks like we're gonna have our world premiere in New York at New Voices in Black Cinema. But the film wasn't finished yet. We've been having issues with the color files that we got from our colorist in LA. The main thing that's happening is the sync is always off. We've been troubleshooting the software for the last week and a half, almost 2 weeks, changing settings, messing with settings, re-rendering and exporting things out, to no avail. But hopefully we get it wrapped up within the next day or two, because we really need to move on to marrying the footage and getting an HD cam made so that we can ship it off to New Voices in New York in time for them to screen it March 28th. no pressure. We finally found out what the issue we were having with our color was. Apparently DaVinci Resolve 10 does not like the H.264 codec. We didn't know this going into it, and apparently neither did our professional colorist. All the transcodes that we tried to do, all the grabs that we tried to do and opening them up in new projects and pasting them, literally everything that we did was tainted by the codec. We could have sent it back to LA, back to the colorist to redo the coloring job, but we just really don't have the time now. It's set us so far back. I had to recolor the entire film myself. I was sick as a dog the day I did it, but I colored it all in 12 hours. We did what we had to do, moving on.
But I finished in time for our world premiere.
What up, sis?
Darius, Trisha, Darius.
Hello, Trisha.
Hi.
How are you?
Good.
What is it to live in New York? I mean, it's like ultra expensive, right? Oh man, what? Yeah. What we got going on right here? That's my bed. Looks comfy. D-Day has arrived, ladies and gents. Our screenings today. Dropping off some postcards at the desk here. Bam! I don't know how many this is. I just ran into Vinchel and Esther. Me and Esther go back from Aspen Short Film Fest. They both had a short film at the festival at the same time. Was that last year? She just spotted me out of the blue as I was walking over there, like literally, and she was like, bam, here we are, check us out.
About to see the premiere, looking forward to it.
Look what we got up with Miss Mary Wexler. She caught us.
Did you do the two of us?
We're here to see a fantastic film, obviously called Unsound by director Darious Britt. Darious is here today.
What do you want to do about the work orders?
The water heater? Mic check. It was very personal. It's based on what actually happened with me and my mother, how we came to cohabitate. This topic is kind of skirted in the general media and in other films that I see. Nothing really explored what it's actually like to deal with it.
Absolutely.
You know, as I know it, as I've experienced it.
This hit me very personally. I went through this with a family member. How many people in the audience have had stories like this that affected them? Know someone, family members, and all this. Did you always know that you would play the lead, or did that come to you?
I didn't want to do that at first, but in Arizona, there is a lack of African Americans in general. not
just lack of actors, just in general.
In general, like. Yeah, so that pretty much does it for the world premiere of Unsound. It's in the can. Thank you to BAM, thank you to the film festival, thank you for the New York, the Brooklyn support, thank you to the other filmmakers who showed up, thank you to some of the YouTubers out there who showed up and showed your support. I'm gonna hang out tomorrow, catch a couple more films at the film fest, and then it's back to Tucson on Sunday, but yeah, deeper down.
No, you're ready.
I'm ready.
Hello, we're here at the Sculpture Festival. Which starts at 6. They're gonna have food, goodies, a band, and all kind of great sculptures. You'll just enjoy it. I mean, I'm glad to be here, so we'll see you around.
You see the same record?
Mm-hmm.
Now point it down at the stone. Back up. You might want to back up a little bit because you're really close on it. Like hold it actually, like you're making a movie.
I got it. I got the whole stone. No way.
Now that we had our world premiere, making a sale at a top-tier fest is out of the question. The odds of selling the film are evaporating fast. Time for a new plan. Let's submit to every film festival we can and collect as many wreaths and win as many awards as possible. This may work in our favor if we end up having to approach a streaming platform, or if we end up selling the film ourselves.
Set me
People interested in talking to him. There's a line of people outside waiting to speak with him.
It's recording.
Just decided to do it ourselves.
I just have this feeling that what an amazing film. Amazing.
And the winner is, for the best Arizona film,
Unsound. Congratulations, here's your award. Would you like to say something? Hello, everybody. I'd like...
So when we first heard about the movie about to see tonight, Unsound, it sounded so intriguing. I contacted the filmmaker, Darious Britt. He responded, and we saw the film, and we said, we gotta have it for this year's festival. It's a knockout.
He said it's dope and he wanna hear my mixtape. He said I'd rather be that killer like a trick straight. He said I'm raging against the machine. He says D is straight housing. The beat is mean as a kidnapper named Bowser. Yeah.
This is a message I got from Damon. Dude, you won Best Director. I wasn't able to stay at the fest till the awards ceremony, but I just found out almost 2 days later.
I just saw the reactions that all these people had to it. It was kind of magical to see all these people have that strong of an emotional response.
Our humanitarian award for narrative, Unsound, Darious Britt.
Thank you so much. So this is a little awkward because everywhere I go, I'm like double dutying as my personal PR person. So yeah, that would really help a lot. It should be on. Oh, you got it the other. We went on to screen at over 20 international film festivals, winning 8 awards over the course of the next year and a half. I chronicled the entire journey on YouTube, over 41 videos, the traveling, the expenses, the meetings, challenges, rejections, acceptances, everything. Highlight, my dad made it to the Phoenix Film Festival. There he is. What's going on, Dad? Good, how you doing? Good. Good to see you. Looking good over there. You got the fedora on.
Yeah, we working it out.
Man, I'm underdressed. I need to go back. I had
something at the job. I had to speak for a friend of mine.
Oh, okay. Hey, John.
If you want, there's another.
We're currently seating Unsound.
Thank you.
Make sure you get a balance.
Come with it. Come on with it. What up, man?
Here, man.
Yeah.
I see you.
Yeah. So this is Ernest Napoleon.
Hey, how are you?
This is my dad. Yeah.
I'm Erin. I'm a filmmaker liaison for him.
Right.
Hello, everybody. My name is Darious Britt. I'm the writer, director, and producer of the film you're about to watch. I see a hand over.
I'm a fan.
He's a fan. Okay, we got a fan in the house.
There will be the Q&A, as she said, and yeah.
He knew what I went through to make that film, and it meant the world to me that he got to see it on the big screen. I won Best Arizona Film at that festival.
So the best Arizona feature is Unsound.
Thank you, sir. Hello, everybody. So I want to thank first and foremost the Phoenix Film Festival. This has been a blast. You guys have shown us a really good time. I have a little bit of a buzz right now, I'm going to be honest. The free drink tickets you guys got, so I had an amazing... By this time, we had a few distribution offers. Most of them were from streaming platforms, but their offers were too low and they didn't seem to have a subscriber base or a marketing plan, which meant they would completely rely on us filmmakers to bring the traffic to the platform. If I'm gonna have to do all the marketing anyways, then I might as well sell the film myself. October 2015, we screened at our last film festival. Our run lasted 1 year and 7 months. Not bad. By this point, I realized our best option was probably going to be self-distribution. Self-distribution could mean a tremendous amount of work. More time, more money, more energy, more planning, more self-education, more everything.
I've been working on this project relentlessly for 5 years straight. I think I need a break. I focused on other projects. I focused on my YouTube channel. That break lasted 2 years. I just needed time to learn about the film business. I needed time to learn more about distribution. I needed time to learn about marketing. I needed more time to grow as a filmmaker. We still screened Unsound every May for Mental Health Awareness Month.
The little one here. Hey, little one.
Hey,
Uncle.
Wow, she's laughing.
Might make a home video out of it.
Oh yeah, man.
Say something, Eli. Book of Eli.
He'll open up. It'll take him a little bit. He just woke
Stranger
up from his
danger.
nap too.
He's like that with everybody.
Nice haircut. Yep.
On my neck.
I didn't know he was gonna be rocking short hair. I saw it on Facebook.
Hello.
And you got the long hair. Long hair don't care.
He's taking a video.
It's a video.
Oh.
Oh, you're on. You got tight-lipped all of a sudden.
Yeah, you know she do.
Hey, mamas.
Hey, darlings. My family's here.
When last time you seen the grandbabies?
Look, honey.
Yeah.
Now I can look and see them anytime I want to.
We ain't got no kind of pictures on the wall, so
Yeah, I know.
so this works.
You were in that movie?
Yep.
You made that movie.
I made that movie.
You wrote it. You starred in it.
Directed it.
Directed it.
Produced it.
I'm in here.
Hey. There it goes.
Getting ready to attend the screening for Unsound for Mental Health Awareness Month. Got my mamas here with me.
Hi.
Hey. Should be good. So when you hear it blinking like that, do you see a red dot in the corner?
It says record.
Yep. You see a red dot too in the corner? So that means it's recording, and then you press that button again to turn it off. So I might have you help me record stuff tonight, since I'm gonna be out and about talking with a lot of people. Are you okay with that? Mm-hmm. This screening we've known about for like a month, actually a couple of months. There's a couple of organizations that volunteered to put Unsound up for National Mental Health Awareness Month. So I'm kind of elated because they took a hold of all the marketing and everything, which was a huge relief off me because I had enough on my plate already. So I'm not really sure what the turnout's going to be. Last time we almost filled the theater, so here we go. What do you think? What do you think about it?
Well,
When you do it, point the lens at your chin. Point it at your chin. Yeah, there you go.
at first I felt kind of strange about the movie coming out about me.
About us, Mama.
About us. But now I feel like it could help a lot of people.
We're on our way to Unsound.
Been talking to Betty Chavez, simpatico. She's like, yeah, let's sit down and meet.
Help you with something?
Mental health issues. They started out as children. They're both adults now.
Department of Psychiatry.
And hello, everybody. My name is Darious Britt. I also wanted to thank everyone for coming.
I want to thank your mother. And I want to introduce her.
My mother for future birthday.
Really coaching for us.
Very good.
Considering the turnout and the fact that we didn't have to do any of the marketing and the mental health organizations did all the marketing for us, I was super happy with the turnout. I was actually surprised at how many people showed up to it. And the Q&A and the panel went for like, what, an hour and a half after the movie?
Hi, how you doing? It went for about
like
an hour and a half.
Yeah, like an hour and a half afterwards. So people were really engaged with the story, and they had a lot of questions as far as the mental health community is concerned, and so on and so forth. So now we're just like grubbing out.
And I got a lot of thank yous. I got a lot of thank yous for sharing my story.
A lot of people got to meet my mom in person. A lot of thank yous for sharing our story.
By now, my mom's becoming my biggest supporter. Because of this film, we've been able to share our story with so many other people who are going through the same thing. And I think through this experience, it's brought us closer together. And I thought a lot about what I really wanted to do with Unsound. No matter which way I looked at it, if we sell it, the odds of us recouping our investment are highly unlikely. But what's more important to me? Making my money back or Unsound reaching the widest audience possible? I'm still young. I'll find some other way to pay off my debt. I think it's more important to get this film out there. The best platform by far would be YouTube. I know it like the back of my hand, which also means that I know just how unpredictable it can be. Sometimes videos that you think will perform well don't, and vice versa. But if you make something good, it will eventually find its audience. One of my main case studies was Algorithm. This film found a huge audience on YouTube without any promotion or marketing or any pre-existing brand backing it. This was a big inspiration. As usual, there are no guarantees for success, but I've learned a few tricks over the last 4.5 years being on YouTube. We'll see what happens. At the time of creating this video, I haven't released Unsound yet, so I don't know how it's going to perform, but I'm sure it'll find its audience. So every once in a while, when I find myself asking that same old question, man, if somebody told me when I first started this that it would take me 7 years to finish, would I have still done it? And the answer is always the same. Absolutely.